Welcome to my tiny kitchen. I thought that today I would give you a tour of what my kitchen looks like. I have a very small galley kitchen. I really have like no pantry, no storage in my place. So I'm working with kind of a small area, but I've tried to make it work for me as much as possible by adding extra storage and shelves and tried to make it user-friendly for myself. I watch a lot of cooking shows and I love some of the kitchens that people have. They're huge, lots of counters, lots of storage, and I just really don't have that. I basically just have this countertop, which is like 3 feet by 2 feet. That counter space usually has my dish rack on it. So this really is kind of my work area, this little tiny spot right here. But I make it work for me, and I do actually quite a bit of cooking and a lot of making things from scratch. So I thought I would just give you kind of a quick tour of what my kitchen looks like. So this here is the door to the basement. So I actually have two whiteboard calendars that I have on here. I use these for planning my meals. Makes it easy to stay organized. Over on this wall, I have an open shelving unit that has quite a bit of my cooking tools on there and like cooking machines. Over here, I have this weird wall that juts out. I don't know if you can kind of see it. There's a little bit over here and then like some more over here. So it's just this weird spot in the kitchen that takes up space. So I made this spice rack, and I actually built this by myself. It's very basic, very rudimentary, but I wanted to use up my space as best as possible. So I built it exactly to fill up that space, and I have it going from top to bottom. I built the shelving unit to kind of fit these containers specifically. I bought these online. I have like 70 or 80 of them on this shelving unit. And I tried to make it look pretty as best as I could since it is open storage. So I have all of the same containers because I like how that looks. I made these labels, I printed them out, and yes, I do have all of my spices in alphabetical order. I do bake quite a bit and cook quite a lot. I like to do things from scratch, so having a lot of spices is important to me. I do buy my spices in bulk, and then I just put them into these containers, but these containers actually fit quite a bit. And what I like about the spice rack is it's actually right across from my counter, so I can get to it very easily. Over here I have a little cart. So I have, sorry, it's a little bit of a mess right now, my cooking spoons and measuring cups. I have all of these little drawers that I've tried to kind of organize to keep kind of cooking tools easy, kind of close by. I've added some extra shelves up here that was like a wasted space, so that way I can put a lot of my baking items there. Over on that side, there is another shelf unit that kind of fits again in this weird space, because you'll see how there's like another wall like right there. So I have this little tiny spot that I'm working with, so I found a bookshelf that fit in there perfectly, and I have some more storage and some more of my kitchen machines. Over here, I'm just going to show you this. It is this weird drawer, that shelf, whatever you want to call it, that is just a weird shape and size, but it actually fits perfectly. I found these containers at Ikea. They are glass with the four-sided cover. I love to use these for prepping my meals, and so I figured out that I can fit about 33 into this weird space. So all of my kind of storage containers like this are in this section, so I tried to use the space as best as I could. Up over here, there's also like another weird spot. Again, just weird empty space, so I use it for my cutting boards. So again, I've tried to kind of make it as user-friendly as I can. Also over here, I'm actually going to take you out into my dining room. And by the way, there is Rio and Kiwi. They are our green-cheeked Connors. You may hear them during the video because they love to talk. And anytime they hear me talking, they're usually going to talk back. And they love to be in front of the camera. They'll usually like try to attack the camera, but I just fed them, so they're actually behaving really nicely right now, so they're being quiet for my video, which is nice. All right, so over here is again, remember I was talking about that weird wall, so I had another empty space in here, so I actually use that for my cookbooks. So that particular shelving unit fits in there really well. Now, I have actually started to cull down my cookbooks. I have noticed that when I look for recipes, I tend to go online. I'm like on Pinterest almost all the time looking for recipes. I have like 25,000 pins of different recipes that I want to try. So I have found that I've started going more towards that rather than using cookbooks. So I have kind of started to cull down the books. There's not as many, though I do have binders that I keep. So if I find recipes that I really like, I'll actually print them out and put them into the binders so that way I can find them easily. And then also over here, I'm going to show you this, is my flower wall. So again, back to what I was saying, I really don't have a pantry. I don't have a lot of storage. The way my space is, it's just like no storage. So I've had to make do with what I have. So I built this, another shelving unit. Again, I've tried to make as much use of my space as I can. So it goes from the, basically from the floor to the ceiling. I built this, again, very basic, but I've tried to make it work in my space. So people tend to display their china cabinets in their dining room, and I display my flowers. So these are actually different flowers, rice, beans, dehydrated fruits, vegetables, kind of pantry staples. I have, again, built this to be both kind of storage, but as well as a little bit of aesthetics. So I bought the containers online. They're all the same size, which makes it very uniform. I printed the labels, so that way I can make it kind of look as pretty as I can. Yes, these are also alphabetical because that way it does make it easier for me to find things. So technically, for long-term storage, you do want to have things in dark containers so that you don't have like light getting to them, because that tends to make them not last as long. So the reason I chose the clear containers is because I wanted to be able to see how much I have in here, so it does make it easier to know, like this one's getting kind of low, I need to get some more of that. But I also bake and cook quite a bit, so I do rotate the food fairly well, so that way it's not going to go bad. But this is what works for me. No, it may not work for you. Everybody's situation and storage and organization is different, but this is what I do for me. I like it, works well. So anyway, that is the little tour. So welcome to my tiny kitchen, and let's see what we can make.